I'm here at the Riverside Diagnostic Center. I have to get a ultrasound on my gallbladder. I've got a little bit of time to kill, so I'm gonna go check this water fountain out. The amount of paperwork required to get to Antarctica is insane. I've already had to go to the dentist for a complete dental exam. If there's anything wrong at all, it has to be fixed before I can ship out. I've had like 8 vials of blood drawn, 2 immunization shots, complete doctor's physical. It makes sense though when you're stranded in a very remote location with limited access to healthcare. So they really want to make sure I'm as physically fit as possible before I go. And I'm thankful for that. I'm back in one of my favorite places of Newport News, as you well know, which is Newport News Park. And I'm meeting my friend Laurence, who's been going to Antarctica for the past 10 years. He's going to share some valuable information with me to help me prepare for what I should expect while I'm down on the ice. Ready for your big interview? For your 15 minutes of fame?
I guess you could say that, yeah.
This is my buddy Laurence.
Howdy.
10 years experience on the ice.
That's right.
All right, we're gonna ask you some questions about it.
Don't mind if you do.
Anyhow, so like I said before, this is Laurence.
Yes.
10 years on the ice. And I guess I just want to ask you a couple questions that I'm sure some of the people that are following me, and trust me, I have tens and tens of followers. All right,
It sounds like where I would be at.
It's like way up there, right?
Can't keep up with all the responses.
Yeah, you know, it's tough sometimes, but you know, fame. Sometimes it goes to your head, not me.
Right, of course.
I stay humble.
Clearly.
I stay very humble always. So anyhow, but I'm sure people are going to be wondering. I've already got a couple questions like, you know, what are some of the things I can expect down there? You know, how cold it is. Yeah. So I guess I'll start off with that. Like, actually, what brought you to the ice?
Interesting. That's good. I've been asked that a lot lately.
Lately? Who's asking that lately?
Well, some other friends and folks that I've just met, or you know, again, you know, for the 3rd time, they want to know because.
Oh wait. So, by lately, he means the 1,000 emails he went out of his way to send to this guy.
That's right.
Let me tell you about helpful. This guy's super nice. He didn't know me from Adam and Eve, and I mean, just super
And now you're
helpful.
going in April, right?
And now April 7th.
Yes. All right. Excellent. Heck yeah,
So
man.
sidetracked.
It's all good.
Sidetracked already. I'm not great at this stuff.
Dude, it's great.
So wonderful.
That's how these conversations go. Trust me.
Exactly. So what brought you to the ice?
I was a career mechanic. I started working at my cousin's tire store when I was 12, 13 years old in the summer times. And so then I went to automotive in high school for that. Went to college, got an associate's degree, and always been on the mechanic scene. I worked at a local dealer for 7.5 years, several other dealers, Norfolk International Airport. So been a mechanic all my life. I got bored. I got tired of working for not menial. I was making a living, okay, but it wasn't the living that I wanted.
You know, I think that's a common thread. Not to cut you off, but
no, go right ahead.
I got bored. You know,
it wasn't what I wanted.
I think people who do things like go to Antarctica, you know, which everybody's like, why would you ever want to do that? Or people who get bored with the normal, you know, we need excitement.
Absolutely, yeah. So it was mundane, you know, and I got on government defense contractors' websites, and I was ready to go back for another career. And just normal, going through jobs, they needed a light vehicle mechanic. I said, well, heck, I've done that for the past 10 years. And I was like, well, if I go there, I know the job, that's not a problem. Well, how things are done is just what's going to be different. And I get to go through New Zealand, and I get to go to Antarctica.
Win-win, right?
Sold. Yeah, so I applied,
doubt.
and that was almost 10 years ago, and the rest
You
is
got
history.
the job.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, dude. That's so cool.
Yeah, sheer dumb luck, man. I never knew anyone that went. I mean, it was just one day.
See, you got it through your own hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. I cheated. I got this guy pulled a few strings for me, I do believe.
That's right. Well, I talked to some people that needed to know your name, and it's great. When that happens and that lines up, I mean, it was too easy. Like, it was meant to be, in my opinion.
I mean, everything just fell right into place. Is it really that cold in Antarctica? Like, what? I mean, we know it's cold in Antarctica, but like, how do you handle it? What kind of clothing do you wear?
Okay.
Is it unbearable? How long can you stay outside? What are some of the average temperatures you deal with?
Okay, so in the summertime, it can get up to 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And like 30% humidity, which if you're from here, it feels like none.
Yeah, that's
so
actually
it's
a lot
great.
warmer than I would expect.
Fantastic.
No doubt.
There's no moisture in the air. Summertime cold temperatures, I don't know, single digit Fahrenheit, somewhere around there. That's at McMurdo.
And McMurdo Station is actually on an island.
Right, it's on Ross Island. Yeah.
That is far northern of Antarctica, of Antarctica.
No, actually, it's kind of in the cut. It's in the Ross Sea, so the continent is actually only about 40 miles away, over the sea ice, over the Ross Ice Shelf, or McMurdo Ice Shelf, as it were.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's not terribly far. Like, you can see it. Like, I'm almost there.
And that whole section in the winter is frozen over. You can just drive right over, right?
That's right. Yeah. So it does get extremely cold. In the wintertime, negative 20s, 30s. The coldest I saw was, I think, negative 50 ambient, and then there was a wind chill that made it negative 115 in town somewheres. Yeah, South Pole. South Pole. Single digit negative Fahrenheit in the summer.
Wow.
And then the bottom's the limit in the wintertime. It's been negative 70, 80 ambient there.
And you've been to the South Pole numerous times. So
I have. Not during the winter.
Oh, you always do it? Does anybody do a traverse during the winter?
Negative.
Okay.
No, because
Too intense.
Right, so relating to the temperatures, negative 40 is our cutoff for essentially equipment. So depending on what your job is, you may be finding something else to do that day if it's too cold. They just simply won't run the equipment. It's too hard. Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, wintertime.
But I think that's a really interesting part of what you've done down there, and you're a really integral part of the team in that you do these trips to the South Pole, and these trips are really intense, right? Like, you're gone for a couple months. Yeah,
you can be. So 3 weeks out, loaded, and 2 weeks back on one traverse is typical. So roughly 5 weeks in the field for one traverse.
And what's the point of this traverse? Why are you going to the South Pole?
So we're taking diesel fuel for the South Pole to actually run their generators, to make their electricity, to make their water, flush their toilets, to cook their food, basically so they can do the science that you're hearing about on PBS and NPR and BBC and all of that. Yeah. So it's Nobel Prize-worthy science. Neutrino detectors, ice cube, 10-meter telescope, and a slew of others, but it's all on the website, on NSF's website.
Yeah, and I'm sure you get some kind of gratification that you're an integral part of making that happen. I mean, you may not be turning the dials and the scientific equipment, but that doesn't happen without the people out there supporting them.
There's no one person that makes anything happen.
Absolutely.
Particularly there. I mean, that's my opinion on a general statement, but particularly there, when you get into teams like this, everybody's role is such a key ingredient to making things happen. And when you don't have so-and-so, it can sting.
No doubt. Tell me you don't have to give any details.
Uh-oh.
But,
good.
All right, so people who think of, going to Antarctica, some people are like, that's really exciting. Some people are like, why would you want to do that? So I imagine the people who say, why would you want to do that? they're thinking horror. Like what? So do you have a horror story? Like what is your worst experience where you're like, dude, what am I doing out here? Did you have a moment like that? You're like second guessing yourself?
Yes and no. I knew I was going to be fine through it all, so it was more of an internal.
You had confidence.
Yeah, right. It was more of an internal battle. I'd say one of the first ones. We weren't even quite to Antarctica yet, but it was a really, really, really long day. It was a 24-hour day. So we had deployed from. We flew from Christchurch at 5 a.m. in the morning on a normal deployment. So this meant a 3 a.m. wake up. So awake at 3 a.m., leave Christchurch around 5 or 6 a.m. We fly all the way to McMurdo, and we don't land. So we had to fly back. We were on a C-17, so it had the ability to go all the way down and fly back because there was something with the runway. They couldn't see it, weather, fog, I don't know, whatever.
Man.
So we get the news. We're flying all the way back to Christchurch. We get back to Christchurch. They fuel up the aircraft, change the crew, and put us back on the plane.
No way.
3 a.m. wake up, and we got into town at midnight.
So how about your best day, man? What was the best day you had on the ice? I'm sure you've got lots.
Leaving. After a 14-month contract.
This is not what you're supposed to be telling me.
Leaving after a 14-month contract.
Do you hear this?
It was the best day. Oh my God.
And here I am going for 6 months trying to possibly stay for a year. Yeah,
6 months are awesome.
You know, the story is changing here a little bit. It's going to be wonderful. I'm so excited for you. Best day of my life, leaving. All right.
It's too easy, man.
All right.
No,
I'm going back to Pacific Crest Trail.
Honestly, I mean, I've had a lot of good days. Some of the best days just being down there are hanging out and having brunch on a Sunday when you can.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
you got
the
community,
friends. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've got friends, you got conversation, and some of it is the most ridiculous conversation you'll ever have.
Oh, yeah.
If you know the people I know.
If you're watching, anyways. I have no idea what just happened, but
it's so
if they're watching,
yeah.
y'all know.
So at the VMF, they had a library where all the books and information was to fix everything. And on the wall was a piece of black construction paper someone had cut out, and then on that was a piece of white paper that someone had written in calligraphy on. You can tell this was hand done. And in black ink it said, "In the name of God, stop a moment, cease your work, look around you." And it was a quote by Leo Tolstoy.
That's cool.
And I wish I had gotten the quote when they had taken it off the wall, because I would have kept it.
Yeah.
Because I've always remembered that. Because it doesn't matter how bad it gets or wherever your mind happens to go, because there's so many posts that you can drive down with this person or that instance or whatever. Staying conscious and being focused on where you're at goes a long way for me.
No doubt.
So yeah, I have bad days, but I try not to have bad days, you know, like the rest of us. But
yeah,
I can't.
This video is quickly becoming like an inspirational, like, you know, I'm liking where you're taking this.
So
I feel positive.
Yeah.
See, I'm on an emotional roller coaster with you. I'm up here, I'm down here, you know, it's great, it's bad, it's great again. Just
yeah, right?
Perspective.
Pay attention.
It's all perspective.
Well, that's exactly it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can have bad days, but I mean, how bad are they really?
So what parting words of wisdom would you have for me heading out there in just less, or I guess, what, 8 days now?
Oh,
9 days.
Is it really? Holy
yes,
cow.
coming up soon.
Keep your eyes open and have a good time.
All right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much
you bet.
for everything you've done. You've been super helpful, man. I really appreciate the friendship I've been able to cultivate with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going somewhere pretty rad yourself. You just got back from the ice.
That's right.
2
weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
9 days ago, yeah.
And no rest for the weary or for the crazy traveling man.
That's right.
And you're headed where now?
I'm going to Greenland. I'm going to Summit Field Camp in Greenland. So it's 10,000 feet in elevation. It's higher than South Pole, but it's not that far away.
Yeah.
So yeah, more helping great science come out of there.
So next time I see you, very well may be on the bottom of the earth.
That's right.
All
Charmed life, Levi. Don't let it get ahead of you.
Yes. Speaking of charmed lives, let's go fly a drone.
Perfect.
You
Let's
down
do it.
with that?
Absolutely.
All right.
You're the same.